Hi, everybody, and welcome to Drop In with Marianne. I am Marianne STANTE, and I am an ESL instructor at Brock University in St. Catharines, Ontario, Canada. My job on Drop In with Marianne is to help you guys with any grammar questions or issues that you have. So I welcome all your emails that I get, and they really help me decide what to talk about with you on Drop In. And that's what this is all about. So I'm really grateful for those of you who have sent in emails and letters or texts to let us know what it is that you want to hear. Now, the other day, somebody wrote in by the name of Kim, and Kim wanted to know about possessives or possession. So I wasn't sure exactly what she meant, so I thought I would cover a couple of things today just to help Kim be clear, and possibly you too, if you maybe have questions about this. So let's start with possession. Possession refers to ownership of something. Now, when we're talking about ownership, as you know, that means one person or a group of people own something. How do we do that in a sentence? Well, most of you know apostrophe S. Apostrophe S. That means it belongs to that person. So for example, that is Mike's truck. That is Mike's truck. Now, Mike in this sentence would have apostrophe S because it shows that the truck belongs to Mike. Now, that is what we use when we are using possession. But then there are things called possessive pronouns and possessive adjectives. And sometimes students can also be confused about that. And I have a feeling that Kim wanted to know more about possessive adjectives and possessive pronouns. So I want to talk about those today and kind of go over the differences between the two and go over some examples, and maybe you can think of some examples also. Okay, let's start with possessive adjectives. A possessive adjective is just like that. An adjective describes a noun. So a possessive adjective is an adjective that we use in the possessive form to describe a noun. Now, basically, it doesn't so much signify describing the noun as in pretty girl. It describes the noun as in who something belongs to. Who something belongs to. Now, there are no singular or plural forms with possessive adjectives, and possessive adjectives show who something belongs to. For example, those are my books. This is my book. You see in these sentences, books is both plural and singular. My is used in both sentences, but my, of course, doesn't change form. Those are my books. This is my book. Now, we have other possessive adjectives, and I know you know these because you have used them. And if you have ever been in my class, you have definitely used these because I have taught possessive adjectives and possessive pronouns for a very long time. So maybe some of you remember making examples using these. We have my, your, his, her, our, their, as in THEIR, its. Now, I want to quickly talk about its because its can be also very confusing. It is not the short form of it is. And in this possessive form, there is no apostrophe because lot of students say, well, if it's a possessive form, that is its ball. It referring to a dog or a cat or an animal, that is its ball. Well, it would not be apostrophe S. Its is special here. It does not have an apostrophe S. It is the possessive form, and this is how we use it. So let's think of an example of your. We thought of my. This is my book. This is your book. Those are your apples, if you like apples. Those are your oranges. Now, what about his? Can you think of an example? That is his car. That is his truck. That is her car. That is her truck. You will notice on possessive adjectives, there is no S. The S is saved for possessive pronouns, which we'll go over when we're finished with possessive adjectives. Another one is our. This is our lake. This is our dock. This is our cottage. I really like our new car. Our is also used as a possessive adjective because it talks about our, as in a group or two people, you and somebody else. Not we, our. Now, there's another one, which is their, T-H-E-I-R. That is their wedding picture. That is their wedding picture. Whose picture? Their wedding picture. That makes it a possessive adjective. It belongs to those people, and we refer to them as their picture when we are talking about possessive adjectives. Now, I know that you know an adjective describes a noun. Well, a possessive adjective does that same thing. It describes the noun, but it describes who the thing belongs to. It is his car. It is her car. Another thing I want to mention to you is possessive adjectives come before the noun. Before the noun. It is his truck. His is the possessive adjective describing who the truck belongs to. And so truck comes after the possessive adjective. It is his truck. Now, that is easy enough, but I find that some students maybe get challenged with possessive adjectives and possessive pronouns. Well, what's the difference? Well, a possessive pronoun doesn't come before the noun. The possessive adjective comes before the noun, but not the possessive pronoun. It comes after. The other difference is that a possessive pronoun gets an S. Now, you might say, well, what about its? You're right. Its has an S. And you know what else has an S? His. His and its are both possessive adjectives and possessive pronouns. They both have S at the end of the word. However, this is where it gets tricky because you have to be able to use these words correctly, but in different sentences. The sentences will have different structures and they will be saying different things. So this is when grammar gets tricky for students because you have to be aware of what the speaker or you is really trying to say or write. Now, let's look at his. This is his truck. That truck is his. We can use his with both kinds of sentences. That truck is his. That is his truck. Do you see the difference? His as a possessive adjective is his truck. His as a possessive pronoun is the truck is his, and it comes after the noun. What about its? Same. That ball is its. Sounds awkward, but you can say it. That is its ball. Now, with the other words, they are not the same. For example, let's look at her. A possessive adjective says, this is her truck. But the possessive pronoun says, that truck is hers. Now, her comes after the noun, and her gets an S. This is what makes it a possessive pronoun. Another one, that's her. What about our? That is our cottage. That cottage on the lake is ours. Our comes after the noun, and it gets an S. This is how you can tell the difference. What about there? That should be easy. Do you want to think of an example? You can always email me your examples or email me your questions about these things, because I can always go over them again to make it clear. That water is theirs. Possessive adjective, possessive pronoun. It is a possessive pronoun. Why? Because it comes after the noun and it has an S. That is their water. Possessive adjective comes before the noun, no S. Now, what about hers, his? We forgot my. Possessive adjective. That is my car. That car is my? No, that car is mine. My becomes mine. Mine comes after the noun. My comes before the noun. Now, my doesn't get an S. My changes to mine. Now, the trick is you have to be careful how you use these possessive pronouns in sentences, because you cannot say, that is mine book. No, you can't say that. Why? Because mine is a possessive pronoun and it must come after the noun. That book is mine. That is my book. Can I say that book is my? No, mine. That is my book, not mine. So what you have to do is you have to discover for yourself if you are going to use a possessive adjective sentence or a possessive pronoun sentence. Now, when you are doing your writing, this is very, very important, because two reasons. It will be incorrect if you use the wrong possessive. If you use a possessive pronoun where you should use a possessive adjective, obviously you will not get the mark. Secondly, when you start using possessive pronouns and possessive adjectives and practice, well, what do I say every time we see each other? Practice, practice, practice. You cannot practice too much. Practice what you learn in all of your classes. But when you are learning new grammar points, practice. Use them when you're speaking. What if you make a mistake? That's okay. It's okay to make a mistake, because that's how you learn. Maybe somebody will help you if you are talking to them. Practice. Practice with your friends. Practice at homestay. Practice with your parents. Practice. It also helps if you practice your writing. Now, I know a lot of you guys are maybe being a little bit lazy with your studying, but don't forget, you can still write a paragraph. You can still write a story in English. Practice. Practice using what you learn. And today we have gone over possessive adjectives. We have gone over possessive pronouns. Now, another thing you guys have to realize is there is no single plural form. It does not change. Even though the possessive pronoun gets an S, that doesn't make it a plural. Only nouns can have plural or singular forms. That book is mine. That cookie is hers. Even though there's an S on her, it doesn't mean there's more than one girl. No, that's crazy. There's just one. It's hers. What would we say if there was more than one girl? Maybe we could say that cookie is theirs. Theirs is more than one person, and it can be male or female. It doesn't matter. Theirs is neutral. There is neutral. T-H-E-I-R or T-H-E-I-R-S. Now, let's practice with some examples. Possessive adjectives. That is their garage. This is my city. I loved visiting his city. She lives in a beautiful city. Is that correct? No, she is not a possessive adjective. She is not a possessive. She is a completely different form. She does not own anything. If you want to talk about possession, remember, Kim, her or hers, his or his, its or its, their or theirs, our, ours, my, mine. You guys have to figure out what you want to say in your sentences before you decide if you're going to use a possessive adjective or a possessive pronoun. Figure out what you want to say. Figure out what you are trying to say. When you are talking about possession, figure out how you want to explain what or who something belongs to. Figure that out in your mind. Remember, the more you practice, the easier it gets. Because the more you practice, the more it stays up here. And you guys are smart. You're great students. If you practice, I promise it will stay up here and you will be able to use it effectively and your communication will be fantastic. Now, Kim, I hope I answered some of your questions today. I hope I made the use of possessive adjectives and possessive pronouns a little bit clearer. If you have any questions or you want to shoot me a comment, shoot it to the email link below on the screen, and I would be happy to take up anything that you want to talk about pertaining to grammar on Drop In with Marianne. So, thank you for joining me today in beautiful St. Catharines, Ontario, Canada, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye.